Video, we're going to show you how we made a really cool countertop, piece of MDF board, one piece of our stealth veil. We're going to show you how we get it adhered down to the surface and then saturated with our stealth epoxy coating. Your first step is going to be to pre-cut the veil to size. Once you have that done, you're going to use a spray adhesive. In this case, it's a Loctite high-performance spray adhesive that you can get anywhere from Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon. There's lots of them out there. There's nothing special about this one. So when you're spraying, you're going to want to make sure you do it in a well-ventilated area or have a respirator on. You're going to start with getting your edges completely covered. And then you're going to work to your top. Just make sure you get good coverage. You want the veil to completely stick to the surface that you're trying to cover. Once you've got that down, you're going to take and drape the piece of veil over the surface, preferably not on a windy day if you're outside. Get it centered. You're going to want to have a little bit of overhang when you're doing this, just to help get you centered. Now you're going to want to pull all the wrinkles out of it, stretching the veil over the surface, pulling your corners down nice and tight, just using your hands to work the veil down to the surface and get it adherent to the surface, ensuring that there's no wrinkles. You see here now, I'm just going into my corners and pulling everything down, stretching any of the wrinkles off from the part. See how well the spray adhesive works, keeping the veil stuck down to the surface of the MDF board. Even in this area that I've routed, you can see as my thumb presses down, it wants to stay right in that groove. Once you get it all down, you can either plan on taking a razor blade and cutting any of the extra veil off, or when you're all done, you can go ahead and take a die grinder and cut it off. So now we're ready for our saturation coat. What we're looking to do here is just get the veil wet out. You're going to use 2 ounces per square foot of our stealth epoxy coating. Now that you got it down on the surface, you're going to use the resin spreader or Bondo squeegee. One of these comes with our kits. What you're trying to do is just move the resin around the surface and get it to saturate into the veil. Try to stay to the center, and then we'll work the edges last. We want to keep as much epoxy on the surface as we can until the veil is completely saturated. Now that we've got the veil completely wet out, we're going to grab our veil roller. What we're doing here is we're just going to make sure that we've got no hidden air trapped under the surface. You start in the center of the part and work your way to either end. You're just trying to pull any air that's trapped underneath there and roll it out. At the same time ensuring that there's no wrinkles. Now that we've got all the air and wrinkles removed, we're ready for the torch. Remember, for the saturation coat, you want your veil to be completely wet out. There should be no dry spots. We're going to let this cure now for 4 to 6 hours, and then we're going to come back with our first flood coat. For all flood coats, we're going to use 3 ounces per square foot of our Stealth Epoxy Coating. Here I'm using an 8x8 notch trowel, trying to keep all the material to the center of the part until I'm ready to move it over the edges. Now we're ready to use our torch to remove any air that's entrapped under the surface. We're going to do this a total of 3 times over a course of 10 minutes.